Yes, it's a nice day for reading in the open air. Some people in Sheffield are lucky. A bit of leisure, a beautiful park to sit in, and a good book to read. And believe it or not, a library close at hand to change their books. We are justly proud of our city libraries. Do you know that well over 5 million books are used each year? Yes, and it's all on the rates, every bit of it. But all it costs each citizen a year is the price of a few packets of cigarettes. You, sir. And you, miss. And you. You. And you. Would you like to see what goes on behind the scenes at your libraries? No? Too deep in your books, eh? Well, we'd better go by ourselves. The Central Library in Surrey Street, a fine building worthy of a great city, is the centre of Sheffield's many library services. The Libraries Committee of the City Council are responsible for the whole organisation. There has been a Libraries Committee for over 100 years, right back to when the first library was opened in the old Mechanics Institute in 1856. Of the millions of books borrowed each year for home reading, many are taken from the network of suburban libraries. But the lending department of this great central library alone issues over 750,000. Supplying books on this scale, day in, day out, isn't as straightforward as it might seem. Some readers want old favourites. Others want the latest adventure story. Quite often, the same new book is wanted at the same time by many readers. The right book into the right hands at the right time. That, in short, is the task of the librarian. Books without end. Hands without end. Here is the hub of the wheel. This is where the books must be chosen and bought for all ages, tastes, and needs. Nearly 200,000 books and pamphlets are added to the city libraries every year. Not only new English books, but books of all types from abroad, and important out-of-print books that need a shrewd and tireless eye to trace them. Sometimes a precious old volume, like this Atlas by John Speed, published in 1611. Another splendid addition to the library's permanent treasures. A highly responsible and difficult task, keeping pace with thousands of new books, tracing old ones. Casual readers and serious readers, young readers and old readers, readers from every section of the city's intellectual, social, industrial, religious, and political life, all must have their book needs discovered and satisfied. It's a big and never-ending job, requiring great experience and expert knowledge. But books don't become a library until they are properly listed and arranged in a definite and useful order on the shelves. Many skilled backroom staff keep this master catalogue up to date. Each book must be given its proper place in a detailed classification scheme containing tens of thousands of subjects. The same department has to maintain the public catalogues so that a reader at any library may find any single book out of over 500,000. The last job in making a new book ready for use is to fit this strong, transparent cover. Book jackets are often works of art in themselves, and when a book is protected like this, the reader feels that he is using something worth taking care of. Many hands have turned these pages, yet how well this volume still looks. Here's a dreary lot in a library of yesterday. Who would have guessed they were written by one of the world's greatest humorists? What a contrast with this typical bookcase in the libraries today. And here's another satisfied borrower. Just the book she has been waiting for. But if the right book is not on the shelves at one library, an efficient interchange service will bring it from another, or from a neighbouring library in Yorkshire, or indeed from any library in the British Isles which may have the book required. Books are often obtained for readers from libraries abroad. But the lending department is only part of the library service. Sheffield has hundreds of thousands of people who all want to know. Every single person here has wanted information urgently at some time or another, and it's 10 to 1 that the answer has come from the library. An important letter has to go to a firm of locomotive makers in France, and an efficient secretary wants to be sure of the address. She's quickly given the correct information from one of the hundreds of modern directories in the library. Perhaps a quick glance at the appropriate sheet of the Ordnance Survey solves the problem, or a few minutes' search in a railway timetable. Every year, thousands of people visit the city on pleasure or on business. They often need information, and they need it quickly. The Civic Information Service in the nearby Central Library is specially equipped and staffed to cater for all types of inquiries, not only from visitors, but also from the people of Sheffield themselves. Even personal and family problems are dealt with sympathetically and in complete confidence. Popular exhibitions are also arranged, mainly on subjects connected with civic affairs. This is one of a series depicting the work of corporation departments. For the city librarian is also the civic information officer, and in this capacity is responsible for the council's public relations. Mary, at the university, is writing a thesis on the economic history of medieval Yorkshire, and the librarian has brought together some obscure volumes connected with her subject. These include an original copy of a merchant's account book of the period. Now, armed with her own miniature library, Mary is settling herself in one of the private study cubicles where she can, if she wishes, spend weeks in undisturbed research. These rooms are always busy. Busy is the word. Every morning, for instance, the city librarian has a mass of inquiries by post. Some are easily answered, others may need hours of expert attention. Here's a bit of a teaser from abroad. A welfare officer wants to know the safe maximum working speed of cutlery glazing wheels of a certain type. All in the day's work for experts who have the right tools to hand. Here are answers to questions without end. The General Reference Library, with nearly 100,000 volumes and countless periodicals, pamphlets, maps, and other essential aids for the student and research worker. Not only the standard books on history, religion, languages, literature, and the classics, but every modern work of quick reference. Files of this national newspaper go back to the year 1785, and here is the very first issue in 1787 of the Sheffield Register, from the files of all the local newspapers, complete from the 18th century to the present day. Sheffield wants to know. Sheffield must have the answer quickly to problems in science, in engineering, and in the great ferrous industry in which the city leads the world. Every day a tricky point crops up on research, on production, on processing, on the safety of workers, while commerce and industry seek answers to endless urgent questions vital to the smooth flow of trade and production. Professional men too need information quickly. This is the special reference library installed in the assize courts for the judges and barristers with vital legal problems to solve. Here, in the commercial, scientific and technical libraries, skillful and patient library workers produce the right information at the right moment for the right person. Not only information from books, but up-to-the-minute information on every aspect of commerce and the great steel and other industries is available in these hundreds of trade and technical periodicals from all over the world. These sombre covers, and thousands like them, contain the specification of every single British patent, a fantastic assembly of man's imagination and ingenuity that goes back to patent number 1, dated 1617. And now to the shape of things to come. Sheffield is one of the few libraries in Britain permitted to hold the reports of the British, American, Canadian and European atomic energy authorities. Reports in which lie the seeds of a new industrial revolution. The Library of Science and Technology is the centre of technical information for the whole industrial area of South Yorkshire and North Derbyshire. The Sheffield Interchange Organisation, begun in 1932, is a unique scheme covering some 50 of the most important firms, institutions and research organisations in the area. Nearly 4,000 publications of the greatest industrial, scientific and technical importance are interchanged every year. Within copyright limitations, microfilms and photocopies are readily available, not only from current material, but also from old and rare volumes and manuscripts. This is a modern city with a population of 500,000, but well conscious of its links with the past. In this department of local history and archives, there is a truly remarkable collection of almost everything that has been recorded about Sheffield or written by Sheffield people. In the basement strong rooms are preserved some of the library's greatest treasures, hundreds of thousands of irreplaceable documents, all linked with Sheffield and the surrounding area. Here, for instance, are the archives from Wentworth Woodhouse, the records of the Earl of Strafford, the Warncliffe and Crewe muniments, and the Arundel Castle manuscripts. And poignant scraps of paper, like this letter written by Mary Queen of Scots while prisoner in Sheffield Castle nearly 400 years ago. This is undoubtedly the most important collection of manuscripts in any public library in Britain. It attracts scholars from all over the world. This American professor, for example, is editing the University of Chicago's 8-volume edition of the Letters of Edmund Burke. Priceless old manuscripts are cared for by the most effective methods of repair and reinforcement. Handmade paper of matching weight is used for mending single-sided documents. When there is writing on both sides, they are covered with fine silk gauze. Only one special kind of silk will do, and great skill is needed to preserve these fragile old papers of such historical interest. Mention of history reminds us that the old Sheffield Music Hall stood on the site of the Central Library. Over 100 years ago, Charles Dickens performed on its stage and left his name on this playbill to rest in the library archives. The old music hall has long vanished, but the arts of entertainment still flourish in the Central Library Theatre, film shows, gramophone recitals, and dozens of amateur groups keep drama vigorously alive. Sets of plays for these and for hundreds of play-reading groups come from yet another special section of the library. The younger generation queue eagerly to get into their own library at Sheffield. The old restricted, dull junior sections have gone. Today the policy is freedom of choice in an atmosphere of beauty. This is the children's library at the Manor branch, one of the many children's libraries in the city. No teachers or parents supervise their choice, and even the librarian doesn't try to direct their reading unless specially asked. All the same, the children's librarian is a welcome friend, and boys and girls eagerly take the opportunity to help in the actual running of their own library. Every child, before leaving school, is taught how to use books and how to obtain information, and classes are held at the Central Library every morning during term time. But to children, their library means far more than books. They meet to swap stamps, to arrange seasonable nature displays, to see special film shows, to hear music, and to listen to stories. Tales told by the young librarian in the old traditional way of storytelling, to the evident enjoyment of youngsters. But other collections of books are provided to encourage children to read. The City Library looks after 250 school libraries. Handicapped children in the special schools are not forgotten. Books open magic doors for the young and also for the old, especially when age and infirmity have left only memories and the printed word to give savour to life. The old people in the care of the city receive regular supplies of well-chosen books. The work of the city libraries is never done. Every day, books pass to and from the Central Library and the branches, new books and old books. All move in and out of the libraries to keep pace with the ever-growing requests from more and more readers. Some of the branches, such as Manor and Wood Seats, are specially planned modern buildings. Others, like Hillsborough and Ecclesall, both set in lovely parkland, are effective adaptations of fine old houses. And Broomhill, a dignified Victorian townhouse, loses none of its charm by the introduction of contemporary decoration and furniture. There are still some districts without adequate libraries, but the future is already being planned. As the new housing estates rise within the city, the new libraries, now on the drawing board, will follow. And so back to the park in the sunshine, where our readers have just noticed it's nearly tea time. There they go, 5 contented readers, just 5 of many, many thousands, alike in pride of citizenship, but each with a highly personal taste, that the Sheffield City Libraries meet promptly and unfailingly with the right books in hand.